Man and Machine is brought to you by Highflex Mobile Hose Service, Shannons Insurance for Motoring Enthusiasts, and the following sponsors.
Yeah, baby!
It's unbelievable!
Bring it on! Welcome back to Man and Machine with the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit in Victoria. We're here at the Phillip Island Classic, Festival of Speed. If it's historic racing you like, then stay tuned for this one. It's going to be sensational. We're with long-time racer George Hettrell here in his 1927 Bugatti. Are you enjoying the weekend here, mate?
Oh, absolutely. I think we had about 550 entries and, you know, they're coming from all corners of the globe with all their special motor cars and ERAs and whatever else, and adds so tremendously to the atmosphere.
Now, I believe you've been racing for some time. Tell me how old you are.
I'm 84 years old.
And you're still racing?
Yes, my medico that does the test for me, he looks at me, he says, gee, I hope I'm as fit as you are at 84.
That's fantastic, George. Tell us about the Bugatti here. Tell us the story about it.
Well, this car was actually brought into Australia in 1961 by Tom Roberts, and it subsequently passed through a couple of hands. All of a sudden in 97, the whole town was buzzing with this special Bugatti that was for sale. It's the only Type 35 in Australia, and I'm a very, very proud custodian.
Can you tell us a little bit about the engine and the drivetrain in the car, for the viewers that don't know much about the older Grand Prix style cars?
It's a single overhead camshaft, 1910cc, and it develops about 130 brake horsepower at about 5,000 reps per minute. 4-speed gearbox. It's got a top speed of about 230 kilometres an hour. Down the straight here at Phillip Island, we get up to about 175, and we run out of track, but it's still going at that point.
We're with Alfredo Costanzo, and it's not too often I get to a historic race meeting and you're not here, Alf. You're here again and you're in this Formula 5000. How's it going for you?
We don't spend a lot of time on the car. Therefore, when we get to the racing track, we have to do a lot of development work. We were here on Friday, but unfortunately the weather was not the best and became a waste of time. Then yesterday we learned a lot more from the car. We went there twice and we done a few modifications last night, and hopefully that will go a bit quicker today. It's supposed to be a fun day, but it's like everything. You know, you jump in a racing car. I'm an ex-racing car driver. If I have to go under 5/10, obviously I shouldn't be in. So I drive it to my best ability.
You're not here just for your good looks. You want to get out there and race. You're a racer.
Well, that's it.
What sort of horsepower do these small block Chevrolet engines make in these Formula 5000s, and how hard do you rev them?
Oh, they vary between, I would say, close to 500 to about 540, 550, but they rev up to about 8,000 revs.
Coming up, we check out some screaming V8 Formula 5000 action.
HiFlex Mobile Hose Service, your complete hose breakdown and on-site service partner. HiFlex Mobile Hose Service offers a complete range of quality guaranteed hydraulic and industrial hose and fittings products. We also specialise in preventative maintenance programs such as on-site hose condition auditing, testing and compliance. With our national fleet of qualified technicians, you can rely on HiFlex Mobile Hose Service's rapid response to all of your needs. Call 1300 HiFlex, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Do you have a hydraulic background? Come and join the dynamic HiFlex team. Check out opportunities at www.hiflex.com.au.
Shannons Club, a hub for motoring enthusiasts. So join, create your own garage, share pics, videos and stories of your current and past machines, connect with other enthusiasts. Be sure to watch Shannons Club TV with a host of dedicated motoring channels, including past episodes of Man and Machine. So jump on board with Shannons Club. I'll see you on there.
We're with Angelo Taranto and his absolutely spectacular looking 67 Camaro. Angelo, I believe this is a new car. You must be very happy with it.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's been great for the weekend. It's the first time out. Kevin Sharp did an amazing job on it. He just spent hours and hours and hours, and I can't thank him anymore.
I must say I'm very envious. I've been following the build on Facebook, mate, and as much as I love my XY, I think I'm in love with this car too.
It's such a good car to drive. We're just trying to learn to drive it from the other side of the seat. So,
well, being left-hand drive compared to right-hand drive, I suppose it will take a little bit of time to dial in, won't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just it's getting the brain to compute with the right hand and the left foot. You know, like that's the pedals are the same, but the shifter's on the right side, and it's just it's a hard one.
And tell us about the power plant, the small block 350 Chevy.
Yeah, well, Tate Engines, Ian Tate built it. It's a 575 horsepower engine. He did a beautiful job on it. It's just running Muncie 4-speed, 12-bolt diff, but campaigned that Tirana for 8 years, and you know, that's an awesome car, but it took it out of you every time you got in it. You got out and you felt like you'd done 10 rounds with Muhammad Ali.
So you've come from a giant killer to a giant.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
We're with Dan Bowden, and we're with one of the most famous racing cars ever to run in Australia, as far as I'm concerned. One of my favourites, the famous Alan Moffat Coca-Cola Mustang. Dan Bowden, fantastic to see you.
You too, Glenn.
Thanks for talking to us.
Yes, mate. Yeah, no, the Mustang, it's it's a cornerstone of our car collection. It's one of the most famous cars in Australian touring car history. Moffat, of course, got it back in 1969 and raced it here incredibly successfully. 151 races, 101 wins, and that's just a race record. It's just incredible. The whole thing is.
I'm told that the record this car holds globally is it's one of the most winningest Mustangs ever to race on the planet. Is that correct?
It actually is. Look, the only thing I think rivals it is Pete Gagan's 65 Mustang. Never raced as much though, but it's incredible to think this car, 151 races, over the 4 seasons, and there's not many cars full stop that even competed that often. That's almost every weekend of the year that Alan used to race it.
I mean, the combination of this iconic car and the driver, Alan Moffat, unbeatable.
Yeah, it is. No, Alan was a supreme talent. I think the Ford guys are very lucky he was racing for them. Otherwise, Ford wouldn't have the racing history it did here in Australia. But this car is representation of Moffat's feats and everything that he did. And the way we've got it now is pretty much how it ran in 70, 71, the peak of its success here in Australia.
So effectively, it's the Boss 302 spec engine with a Weber carburetor combination on it now?
Look, Trans Am spec, Boss 302. It's 150 odd horsepower more, a lot more torque as well, 485 horsepower, the little thing sticking out. Incredible for a small block Ford, but the car doesn't weigh that much. It's a couple hundred kilo than a normal Mustang, thanks to the work Carcraft did. All steel and heavy panels, but it's what they did under the skin that actually matters on this car. And of course, on top of that, you got Moffat's unbelievable skill behind the wheel, and that's why the car just did so well here.
Mate, thanks so much for talking to us. All I can say is thank you very much to yourself and the Bowden family for allowing the general public to see these cars and show them. It's awesome, mate. We really appreciate it.
It is, mate. It'd be a crying shame if things like this are locked away and people never got to see them, and that's why we do the events. That's why we go to all these things and do the event shows and things at home, just so people get to see and love the same things we love as well.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Glenn.
Aeroflow, famous for our massive range of hose, fittings and performance products, now includes Reptilon, the ultimate in lightweight hose and fittings. Check out our new 2015 catalogue including air filters, oil filters, hoses, fittings, engine and transmission parts, fuel systems, tanks, silicone hose, exhaust, air conditioning, turbo and nitrous accessories, tools and equipment, plus all your Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro funny car apparel. Get your free catalogue and shop online at aeroflowperformance.com.
Damn, there's just no room under here.
There's no need to do this anymore when you can buy a tough lift hoist starting from only $26.50. With over 20 models in their range, including 2-post, 4-post, scissor lift, motorcycle and truck. They're great for storage too. All tough lift hoists have Australian standard certification and work-safe design registration. With an impressive warranty, in-house technical support and installation options Australia-wide, what are you waiting for? Check out toughlift.com.au.
I love my tough lift.
Rare Spares has over 50,000 product lines and releases over 500 new products every year. Your local Rare Spares distributor has what you need when you need it. And as the only restoration company officially backed by Holden and Ford, we take our part in your project very seriously. Rare Spares, more than just a part in your project.
We're with David Forbes and his immaculate XK Falcon that runs in Group NB Historics. I had to stop and look at this car, mate. Give us a rundown on it.
Well, I haven't had the car very long, Glenn. This is actually my second race meeting. I raced Sandown in November last year, when we're here at Phillip Island today for a second attempt. I bought the car from Paul Knott in Sydney. He'd campaigned it for a few years. Very successfully, and he built it from scratch, so it's approximately 5 years old. I'm only learning at the moment, Glenn, so don't expect too much of me today.
Mate, at the end of the day, you're out there having fun, and that's what it's all about. Now, tell us about the power plant. Is it a 170?
Yes, Group N rules, and being an XK, or the biggest power plant it can run is a 170.
And you've got the Weber carb combo as well?
Yes, Paul put in a lot of work there with triple Webers. It's still running the standard fuel pump and the single point distributor and making 265 brake horsepower.
265 brake horsepower, that is insane.
Yes, it's a heck of a lot better than they were when they were standard, where they barely made 100, so he's done a marvellous job.
Well, we're with none other than John Bow. John, looks like you're having an absolute ball here today, mate.
I love it. This is probably my favourite race meeting of the whole year, and I kind of get into period. I tell people this is my Steve McQueen look.
You look the part.
Yeah, but no one really reckons I look like Steve McQueen, which is unfortunate. So I've sort of bombed out there.
And tell us about this little Brabham you're driving behind us here.
Well, I just drove it in a parade. It belongs to Peter Strauss, who's a Melbourne historic racing man. It's got quite a collection of ex-Brabham cars. And this is a 64 car. It's a beautiful little car, beautifully restored by Peter Lana and his son Jamie. And I only drove it slowly, unfortunately. I've been trying to talk him into letting me, have a race in it, but he hasn't done so yet.
And does this run a Coventry Climax style engine?
2.5 litre, 4-cylinder, huge big carbies on it, beautiful engine, beautiful torquey engine. It's the same engine as Jack Brabham won the World Championship in 59-60. And I saw this car race at Longford when I was a little kid. Bibb Stillwell drove it, so it's kind of, a bit of a special moment, to drive it, even if it was slowly.
How's that all these years later, you get to drive that? It's incredible, isn't it, how it works? I believe you've also been driving one of Joe Collegia's Corvettes in the regularity, just for a bit of fun.
Yeah, I have. It's kind of a race car from America that Joe bought an Airstream motorhome, and he had to buy the Corvette with it, so now he's going to sell it. But it's a great car. I was really shocked. It's sort of from that late 60s period where they started to grow big wheels and flared guards and all that, so it's like a lot of fun. I had a ball in it. Well,
it was certainly moving at a great rate of knots, and that doesn't surprise me with you behind the wheel, mate.
Oh, mate, so it's nice to be able to race things. I grew up in motorsport. As a child, I used to go to all the races with my dad, and he used to race. So to see all this stuff is just fantastic. This car's here, I would, absolutely die for.
Always wanted your very own muscle car or classic? Then Image Classic Cars is your solution. Where pride, knowledge, quality and service counts for the ultimate experience. From award-winning concourse restorations to full custom builds, muscle cars to classics of all makes and models, right-hand drive conversions, even Australia-wide enclosed pick-up and delivery for your pride and joy. Also currently taking orders for the spectacular Image Classic Cars Eleanor Mustang, custom built to suit your personal requirements. Image Classic Cars. Live the dream. A tough car needs a tough oil, and that's when you need Gulf Western Oil. It's Australian-owned, developed and manufactured in their state-of-the-art production facility. So no matter what you drive, you can be assured you're in the right hands for all your lubrication needs. Gulf Western Oil, the tough Australian.
We're with Paul Faulkner and a very special car right here. It's the FW07 Alan Jones Williams. What an epic car, Paul. Thanks so much for talking to us. Tell us all about it.
It's a 1979 build Williams. It raced in 79 and then carried over into 80, which of course is the championship year. And this is one of two cars that he drove to success in his championship year. So it's a World Championship winning car, as they say.
So this is the actual car, one of the cars he drives?
Yep, that's it. He won 4 races overall. One of them was in 1980. Only did 6 races. It's just a pup. Yeah.
How fantastic is it to see this car in Australia, and how good is it for you to own this car?
Oh look, when it came up for sale, I thought it would go overseas, but luckily I was able to snaffle it up.
Alan Jones was a very fierce and forceful driver, wasn't he?
Yeah, he had a reputation for being, you know, a dominant, strong driver. But you look back at the footage, it's nothing like they got into the 80s and 90s where they were pushing each other off. They just drove hard. But these cars were so dangerous, you couldn't do what you do now. You'd be dead. I mean, the crumple zone at the front's a Milo can, basically. If you go in forwards, you're not walking away from it.
Tell us about the power plant in this car.
Cosworth DFE, 3 litre. When we bought the car, it only had a dummy engine. You need the engine to hold the back of the car on because it's structural. So we're actually able to buy a brand new engine. They still make all the parts, Cosworth, and we got Jeff Richardson's in England to make up a new engine. So it's got about 3.5 hours on it now.
They're one of the most winningest engines ever designed, the DFE Cosworth V8. They make incredible power for their size, don't they?
Yeah, I think it started in about 66 and went through to 80 something. And yeah, it was ubiquitous. It was just, if you were a small team, you ran the Cosworth DFE.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but they make somewhere near 500 horsepower in this spec. Would that be right?
Yeah, it's a good, honest 500 horsepower at 10,500. They're rev limited now at 10.5. We keep it down a little because the dollars go up. 9.5 is expensive, 10.5 is real expensive. So we keep it down a bit just for demo. Yeah.
We're with Dennis O'Brien from Vintage Racing Services, and he's been having a great time today in Daryl Hanson's 68 Mustang here. Dennis, it must be great out there.
Yeah, it's a great car, Glenn, to drive. A beautiful car. I'm sort of probably a bit tentative. I haven't actually raced here since 1967, so I've been a bit lost the last couple of days finding my way around. But
you're not joking, are you? Serious? 1967?
No, mate, 1967 in the H. Holden's the last time I run here, so yeah, it's been a year or two.
Considering that, I think you're doing a fantastic job. You'd be up in the top 4 or 5. Would that be correct?
Yeah, I don't know. We ran second yesterday, so and then run a third the day before, and then slow in qualifying. Made a wrong choice on. Should have had a dry tyre. We had a wet tyre, but hey, it's just one of them deals that happen, Glenn. It's just. But I'm just thankful for Daryl to give me a lend of the car. Like no one sort of lends you one, but he does. So it's and you got to be a little bit cautious too that you don't bend it. It's only the second time the car's been run, so.
I mean, the car is absolutely spectacular. The build, it's a credit to you guys, but the engine, the power this thing's making, the RPM you turn it to is absolutely insane. What sort of power is it making again?
It makes about 610 at 8,500. Here it's doing, I think Craig said about 267 km down the chute. It's doing about 8,300 in top gear with a 3.7 So yeah, you're fairly rocking by the time you get to the end.
Mate, that is absolutely amazing. I mean, it's interesting to see the 69 Fastback with its bigger engine. You've got your Camaros out there with the 350.
All 6 and this is a little 5 litre keeping up with them. So yeah, it's a pretty good deal.
So it's a very well balanced package, and it's bloody hard to kill these little Windsors, isn't it?
Yeah, no, they're great. And they don't give a whole lot of trouble. They stay together fairly well, actually. No, it's a good deal.
Historic touring cars, one of the most epic classes in historic motorsport. If you like seeing iconic muscle cars do battle, then this is what you're looking for.
What an amazing event. Over 500 entries and some incredible cars and people. Nothing gets my heart racing more than historic motorsport. Some spectacular cars from a spectacular era. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I'll see you next time on Man and Machine. Brought to you by Highflex Mobile Hose Service, Shannons Insurance for Motoring Enthusiasts, and the following sponsors.